which is health and safety tax, it's where we're looking at the ECD centers that have been identified and they require health and safety tax so that they can be able to graduate or be registered in terms of your bronze, silver registration. And in those ECD centers, there are some lex requirements that have been reviewed by our department in terms of the land ownership. We don't really consider if an ECD is privately owned or it's state-owned or NPO owned. We just assist the ECD center with that support of health and safety tax. In the health and safety tax, we've got your first aid kit, which form part of that pack, your fire extinguisher, your blanket, and gas cage, which obviously it allows an ECD center to comply in terms of the requirement for a certain category of registration. Let's say it's a bronze, the requirement of bronze as per the revised registration framework. So it assists the ECD center, but not to fully comply with the norms, because there might be some other infrastructure issues that need to be attended, but at the stage where we provide health and safety tax, it's just for it to move to the next stage. These are the pictures of what is included. I've mentioned that there are mattresses, there are some potties for the children, fire blankets. I've mentioned the first aid kit that is also provided. Then the second category of support is maintenance, where then we prioritize ECD centers that are NPO owned, state owned facilities that are in the land that is owned by non-profit organization and those that are owned by the state. So in this category, there are some requirements which we look at. Obviously, one of those requirements is that ECD center must be registered as a non-profit organization for it to qualify. Then in this category, we prioritize a number of items which are infrastructure-related components of that particular building to assist the ECD center to graduate to full registration. Because on this category, it's not about moving into the next level within conditional registration, but it's to move to full registration. If we attend any infrastructure, upon completion of the infrastructure maintenance in that particular ECD, it must be in a position to move to full registration. So obviously, what is prioritized must be what is in the report of the EHP and also form part of the condition of that particular ECD registration in the partial payment. Moving to the third one, which is the new construction. For the new construction, it will be prioritized sectors where the need is greater or a replacement of an existing ECD center that require a new structure. Part of the requirement for this category is that at least an ECD center must be apart by 3 kilometers from another ECD center that is fully registered or conditionally registered for it to be constructed. But there are some issues where we obviously consider the department constructing an ECD based on the need, where maybe there is an issue of an overcrowding in an existing ECD center in the area, or there is an issue with the structure of that particular ECD center. Then this clause of a 3 kilometer is then reviewed on the basis of providing an ECD that is accordingly and then accommodate our children. Then in terms of the land must be owned by traditional authorities or under government and must be under the Department of Education. If previously it was under an NPO, must be donated to the Department of Education through your land acquisition processes that are in place. And the new construction of an ECD center, upon the completion of this particular structure, this becomes part of the infrastructure asset register of the KZN province, where it's submitted to the Department of Public Works as the custodian of infrastructure in the province. Then the Department of Education is fully fully responsible for maintenance of these newly built ECD centers, which are state-owned, for the maintenance of them throughout the life cycle of that particular asset. And a budget must be set aside to then take care of maintenance of that particular ECD center. And the ECD center, that is new construction, must address the need that is a need in the area, and not just an ECD that is built, which is not going to serve any purpose. And there is an issue of involvement, and obviously it becomes a white elephant project. Then now, moving to what informs our planning, and obviously which guide us in terms of the support that we are providing. There are normal standards that we look at, and some of the normal standards that we look at are underpinned by Children's Act, which is 38 of 2005. Also by Occupational Health and Safety Act of 1993, which is Act 85. And then some bonds which I alluded to earlier on in terms of the new registration framework that we look at to say what are the standards for gold, what are the standards for silver, that we must then prioritize in assisting these ECD centers and making sure that they comply. And obviously being infrastructure directorate, we then prioritize Act 1977, which is Act number 103 of 1977,